Okay. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Can hear you. We are ready to start.
Okay. So let's start. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar on the Infostealer epidemic and ways to defend against it. We are excited to have wonderful speakers with us today, and we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Erdal Ozkaya for accepting our invitation to speak at this webinar, and we truly appreciate the valuable contributions he continues to make. Another special thanks also goes to Dr. Süleyman Özarslan for leading both this webinar and the research behind Red Report 2025 and for making it all possible. So hopefully we will have an engaging and beneficial webinar. And if you are ready, let's hand the microphone to our speakers to introduce themselves.
Okay, let me start then. My name is Dr. Erdal Ozkaya. I'm attending to this webinar all the way from New York City, so it's a bit early here, but it's great. You are all worth to be here. Right now, I work as vCISO in multiple companies, and I'm also heading the global CISO Forum, which is a community, which I encourage all of you to join us at LinkedIn. For the ones that know me, I have more than 20 books published to multiple languages, has multiple awards. Anyway, people can search about me later in Google, but I'm a Picus lover from early days, and thank you again for this invitation. And it's always a pleasure to be with Süleyman here.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Erdal Ozkaya.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone. I'm Süleyman Özarslan, co-founder and VP of Picus Security. And it's a pleasure to be here with you today to share insights and best practices. And welcome, Erdal. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Simon. It's nice to see you in so many events. For the ones that don't know, we spoke with Simon in many NATO events, many educational events beside Picus. And this time it's Picus branded, and I'm glad to be here.
So great. Okay, now I'm going to introduce myself. I am Sıla Özeren. I am a security research engineer at Picus Security. I really work closely with Dr. Süleyman Özarslan, and I am also a co-developer, co-writer of last 3 Red Reports, I guess. So yeah, apart from me, yeah, it's done. Perfect. So let's continue with our agenda. Our agenda includes a brief overview of Red Report 2025 findings, but we will mainly focus on the Infostealer epidemic and how adversary exposure validation helps organizations become more proactive. By the way, feel free to submit your question during this webinar, this presentation. If we have time, we will answer them at the end. If we not, we will make sure to respond via email. So yeah, let's talk about Red Report. For the Red Report 2025, Picus Labs analyzed over 1 million malware samples collected throughout 2024. And I'm gonna again cut it, but you can download the report from the resources tab on the platform here. So yeah, from these malware samples, we extracted over 14 million attack actions and mapped them nearly to 12 million MITRE attack techniques. And in the end, we identified the top 10 most used MITRE attack techniques by malware that you can see here. The top 10 list start with well-known techniques such as process injection and command line scripting. However, this time we see new techniques appearing. For instance, the credentials from password stores technique has made it into the top 10 for the first time in the past 4 years. In fact, that's not all. Input capture and data from local systems has also appeared in the top 10 for the first time. On the other hand, we have familiar faces. Application layer protocol technique is already used by malware as a stealth exfiltration method, and with impaired defense techniques, they stay hidden in the compromised environment, and ransomware is always there with data encrypted for impact. Boot or logon auto start execution again appeared in the top 10 for persistency matter. And as always, system information discovery is used to better understand the compromised environment and craft the rest of the attack accordingly. So here, I would like to ask a question to Dr. Erdal Ozkaya. We will go over the details in the next slide. Here, what does this overall picture tell us, CISO?
I mean, honestly, for some CISOs, this is a nightmare. But for CISOs who prepare themselves, this is a great information to have. So being a CISO in multiple companies, being the president for Global CISO Forum, we are being part of the community. We see different attacks, and having a report such as the red report is really a goldmine for us, because this is basically, as you said, getting 14 million down to 10. And I always say, if you want to, actually, this is not me who's saying that. Shu, I'm pretty sure you heard this before. He said this 2,000 years ago. If you want to win a war, you have to know the enemy, but that's not enough. You have to know yourself, but this is also not enough. You have to, on top of it, know the attack ground. Let's put this into technology. To be able to mitigate attacks, cyber attacks from threat actors, you have to know the techniques they are using. You have to know what you have, and you have to also know the attack vectors. And this top 10 list and the rest is giving me a great confidence or great starting point where to look. You are strong as good as your tools, as good as your incident CTI data is, the cyber threat intelligence. And this is honestly telling me how wild outside the environment is and how I need to take this attack serious to be able to defend my organization.
Yeah, great insight. Thank you so much. Yeah, the war analogy was great. I'm gonna use this a lot in my conversation next year. Okay. So yes, as Picus, we were also like aligned with this observation to better help our like organizations and communities. In fact, like in our analysis, we show that malware strains targeting credential stores increased from 8% in 2020 to 25% in 2024, like a year-over-year increase. So this is a 3x surge in prevalence. So my question to Dr. Süleyman Arslan, how do you explain the threefold increase in malware targeting password stores? What's driving this increase?
Yeah, fair question. Yes, that 3x jump in malware targeting password stores is definitely a big deal, because it makes perfect sense when you look at what's changed. The first of all, what we are seeing is attackers adapting. For example, traditional techniques like dumping credentials from LSAS or SAM files are being blocked more effectively now. Windows 10 or 11, for example, have features like credential guard, ASR rules, TPM-based protections, etc. And these type of protections that make it much harder for attackers to pull credentials from memory. So attackers are shifting their focus to password stores like browser store passwords or local vaults. Why? Because they are often less protected and easier to access for attackers. So it's like a cat and mouse game. Attackers try to pull low-hanging fruits. And this year, the low-hanging fruits are the password stores, because in many cases, the malware only needs user-level access. That's way simpler than trying to escalate privileges or bypass kernel-level protections, bypass credential guard, ASR rules, TPM, etc. So this is the first, reason. Another driver is password reuse. It's maybe it's very old, bad practice. Because studies show that around 80% of people reuse passwords still across multiple accounts. Even they use the same password in their daily life, in business, and also cloud services. So if one password is stolen, it can unlock access to several critical systems. So that makes these attacks much more efficient for attackers. So and we also we shouldn't forget the rise of malware as a service. Tools like Lumastealer, it makes it easy for everyone, even without the technical skills. Even someone can use X or Instagram, can run Infostealer campaigns targeting password stores using such malware as a service tools. And another reason is organizations continue moving to the cloud, so attackers are finding more opportunities to exploit stolen credentials. So especially in misconfigured environments. So in short, better operating system defenses are pushing attackers toward easier and high payoff targets like password stores, and password reuse just amplifies the problem.
Yeah.
Can I add something here, Dr. Özaslan? It
Please,
comes back
please.
to what I said. You mentioned great points like the cloud. Like everybody's aware of pass to cookie. So why should, I could be just lazy. I can just go to dark web and buy credentials as well, right? With the techniques, threat actors, they use it, they steal it, and they put it in dark web. And then I can just go through that. So why is this happening? Because it comes back to Tenshu. If I don't know what I'm using, look, it's good to use the cloud. It's good to use GPUs to password cracking, for example. It's good to have all this technology, but if you don't know what you're using, if you don't know how to use your technology, then this is going to bring problems. And as you mentioned, putting all this together is going to give us some defense mechanism. And I think the only addition that I want to put is, don't forget, sometimes you can just go steal as service to dark web and buy this. So hackers, they don't always hack. Sometimes they just buy. And
You're right.
Easy.
Exactly. And coming to what you said, we are lazy. Come on, you and I, we have PhDs behind, we have books behind, we spoke in so many conferences. But one thing I know, Süleyman is not a password generator. So sometimes, unfortunately, we reuse passwords, or we depend on browsers or password managers, which was hacked multiple times. So that's why I like what you said. It's like cat and mouse game. The mouse is gonna run away, the cat is gonna try to catch. But thank you. I just wanted to add this addition. Salah?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Erdal, because attackers are also use, as you say, they use initial access blockers to get easy to they just buy the service from an initial access broker, or buy already stolen accounts, etc. And then it's like they start on the organization's network. They don't have to hack or compromise a system using 0 days, etc. So we should think like we need to assume the breach. We need to think like there is a breach, and how can we stop attackers as as early as we detect them or prevent them, of course.
Exactly. It goes always to the basics. Sometimes it starts with a simple phishing attack, with a simple click, where sometimes users go and download VPNs, free VPNs, which they store their credentials. Unfortunately, these VPNs been hosted by Infostealers and like Redline, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Free VPNs.
Honestly, I read it in your report. I read it in your report. Thank you. Or like Vida Stealer, which is also known to steal data. So all this, it's all in your report, which, to be honest, I highly recommend to everybody.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I guess that's why you're happy. I can see it.
It was one of right. Okay. So Speaking on that, like I have gathered a few pieces that were released in March 2025, like literally just last month. And one headline reports that 26 million devices were hit by an Infostealer with bank card data leaked to the dark web. We just talked about. And other than that, Microsoft states that 1 million devices were impacted by an Infostealer campaign. And we were also seeing many cases where browsers, like especially Chrome, are being targeted by cookie stealers. So here's my question to Dr. Erdal Ozkaya. Like, I really wonder if the situation is this bad. Like, if the media is just kind of exaggerating it, or do you think this is going to get worse in 2025?
Unfortunately, it's worse than that. This is, I mean, thank you. I think you tried to be naive. You selected the easy ones. I'm pretty sure you all know havebeanpound.com, a great friend of mine, Troy Hunt. He created a database which has more than 10 billion records. Hold on. We have only 8 billion people. Around 5 billion of them use the internet, but we have more than double the numbers. Let me give you some other examples. Like NVIDIA is on record, right? I mean, these days it went a bit down, but everybody uses NVIDIA. While they had a data breach with the simple stolen session token, or Okta, after Microsoft, the biggest identity provider. They had a similar attack via getting their cookies stolen. Or you all remember the MGM attack, which cost more than $100 million to casino, and they were down for months. It started with social engineering. So when we look in all these examples, the attacks are not going anywhere. The hackers are going to target businesses, individuals, because that's how they're going to make money. I see more increase in malware within the cracked software because software is not cheap. And unfortunately, still some organizations download cracked version of the software and they use it in the environment, which brings the question of the movie Troy. I'm pretty sure most of you watch it. What is the movie Troy? You know, the original Troy movie. There was two Greek colonies. They were fighting each other. One of them could not win. They said, you know what? Here's a beautiful Troy horse for you as a appreciated token for our peace. They accepted the peace, and inside there were hidden soldiers. I'm pretty sure you watched the movie from Brad Pitt, right? Which happened in Anatolia and Aegean Sea. Then this is exactly how hackers work thousands of years later today. If I tell you, dear Silla, here's a free phone, would you take it from me?
I would.
Yeah. Right? But if I, if I say free malware, will you take it off me? Not phone, of course. Phone, you will take it. But if I give you the phone, you will be happy, right? A brand new Google Pixel or iPhone 16 with a malware inside. And this is exactly what they do with cracked software. So I have a YouTube video for the last 4 years. It's in my YouTube channel. I go and predict what's going to happen every year. And I'm spot on every single year. No, I'm not Nostradamus. No. I'm not one of those attack raters. But I know how we as human works. I deal with humans every day. I deal with technology for the last 25 years. And going back to your questions, this is not going anywhere. With AI, it's going to be even more complex. So I need better tools. I need better support from third parties like Picus, for example, to help me to more secure CISO will be my answer. I don't know if Suleiman, you have anything to add on?
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask another question, but if you would like to go.
Sorry, you're the moderator, not me. I don't know why I'm taking over. So.
Okay.
No worries. Maybe I can also offer Sıla 1 year free botnet, membership.
Sounds juicy. She's a security researcher. She's smart enough not to use this in her main device. And I'm pretty sure the next report is going to be on that. I'm excited to read it soon.
Taking notes. Okay. Then, Dr. Özarslan, can you name like examples of strains of malware that fall into this category of Infostealers?
Yes, definitely. So you can also find the other malwares in our red report. There are several high-profile malware families that fall into this category of Infostealers, and some of them have been incredibly active just in the past year. So one example is Atomic Stealer, which is primarily focused on macOS systems. Not Windows, macOS systems. It has been consistently showing up in the top 10 threat rankings in last year, and that kind of consistency showed that how it's widespread and persistent. And then we have Luma Stealer. I mentioned previously. It also has gained serious traction, and we have seen around 400% increase in activity in only just 6 months. So it's a perfect, only in 6 months, 400% increase. It's a perfect example of malware as a service is fueling this trend, and it's easy to access constantly. It's like I'm advertising one. No, I just want to say there are, it's more democratized for also, cybercrime actors or threat actors, because they can easily access such kind of tools. They don't need to create, their malware, develop their malware or the infrastructure. They just need to, add their Bitcoin addresses and, add a list of emails, or they can use, emails in the database of such malware as a service tools. And, I also want to mention are Poseidon and Cthulhu. These are new strains targeting macOS as well, and their activity also has doubled in the last year. So they are especially dangerous because macOS users sometimes, I'm also a macOS user. Sometimes we have a false sense of security when it comes to malware. macOS is,
everybody thinks Microsoft, Windows, but no, the attacking landscape has shifted. Thank you for mentioning that. That's really, really important.
And there are also long-standing families like Redline and Meta. Only these two alone have stolen over 450 million unique credentials. So which gives you an idea of just how messy the scale of this problem really is.
It sounds easy, right? 450 million unique, actually 451 million unique. Just 400. It's bigger than it's third biggest country. India, China, then this US has 300 million. It's bigger than many countries, right? That's a huge number, and it's concerning.
Yeah, even my human brain cannot comprehend how big the number is actually. Like we can say it so easily, like blah blah million, but it is really a crazy number when we think about it.
Yeah. So when we talk about malware, targeted password stores, these are the type of threats we are dealing with. Fast-moving, accessible to many actors, and highly effective, as you see.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Like we have talked about the problem a little bit too much. I don't want to make it like a little bit pessimist. So let's move on to the final part, the solution. With the scale of Infostealer epidemic speaking for itself, it's clear that traditional security assessment methods are no longer sufficient. Like that said, as Picus, we are not suggesting that organizations should stop performing red teaming, penetration testing, or vulnerability assessment. These exercises are still important. Our aim is not to replace them, but to complement them, especially where they fall short. So it is essential to continuously test whether implemented security controls are actually effective in blocking real-world attacks. Well, like here you can see scope is also like a critical issue. A narrowly scoped test without a clear purpose can still leave you blind to important parts of your attack surface. Like testing against new or emerging threats is especially crucial when assessments are only conducted at specific points in time, like not continuously. Organizations risk being unprepared for threats that emerge between testing cycles. For instance, a vulnerability assessment might take 3 to 5 days to complete, leaving newly surfaced threats unaddressed during that period of time. So in short, we just can't afford to wait for the next red teaming exercise to respond. We can't afford that. So my question is to Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, considering your experience in the field with these approaches as a subject expert, what do you think about traditional assessment methods like red teaming, penetration testing, manual penetration testing, and vulnerability scans, especially in the face of rapidly evolving threats like Infostealer epidemic?
Let's make it clear. I'm still a traditional guy.
Okay.
They are essential, but as you said, I'm a CISO or just not long ago, I was a CISO in a global bank. I was a CISO in a cybersecurity company which has more than 3,000 customers worldwide, endpoint security. And I have still right now my own red team. But as you said, limited team members, limited knowledge, and limited time to deal with the problems. I need something to keep going. Like in ISO 27001, there is PDCA. Yeah, my job is to plan. My job is to act. My job is to, continues to check. But this has to keep going, right? Act. I need tools. Simon mentioned, Süleyman mentioned it before. The hackers are coming with different techniques. So how I'm gonna give my red team the ability to continuously test that? And for that, I'm gonna need some tools. Yes, I can use Metasploit to launch a hacking attack, or yes, I can use another software to do application security. Yes, I can use ThreatNon to do CTI. Yes, I can use Microsoft Defender to, I can use many examples, but I need something to do this for me continuously. And honestly, while being look, I love my penetration test report. I love my red teaming, blue teaming activities, or more importantly, purple teaming. I love my classic endpoint protections. I love my I can give you a huge list of I love, but I need something to do this for me all the time. Unfortunately, I have, as usual, CISO is a cost center. I only have limited headcounts, even in a global bank or even in a cybersecurity company. So instead, I need a software which knows what I have, which I'm going to put it in, of course, which can simulate all this attack as soon as they come out. Yes, my CTI is giving me this information. Yes, my endpoint is getting this signatures, or yes, AI is helping me to catch up with hackers. But look, I have a limited team. Yeah, in the bank, I had more than 130 people. In my previous role, I had 10 people. Even if I had 2,000 people, versus protecting thousands of endpoints, thousands of users. This is hard, and there is a need for a tool which will do this for me automatically as soon as the attack comes out, generate me the report, and informs me beforehand. And I think I know a tool about this because I'm using it for a while. What is this tool called again? It's like a bird. I forgot the name.
Yes.
You don't have the bird in the logo anymore. So for the ones they don't know, I used it for so long.
It's like a woodpecker.
Yes.
Yeah.
The original.
Okay, I also know it. I
go back to you, Süleyman. I think yes, I am a Picus user myself, and promise I'm not charging in this for this because you might think, hey, Dr. Ozkaya is just promoting. No, a paid customer. and I recommend everybody to use Picus, because whatever I said a few seconds ago is giving to me automatically, but I think it's your job to explain it better than I do. Can you give me something which I request?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. So as Picus, we also believe that our solution lie in automated and continuous proactive methods. So like Gartner has grouped these proactive methods under the term adversarial exposure validation. This refers to continuous and automated technologies that help organizations to like identify and address their most critical yet exploitable exposures. Like this includes two key tools: breach and attack simulation and automated penetration testing. Like BUS continues to simulate real-world attack techniques across the full kill chain of malware and adversaries. Thanks to its safe and like non-destructive approach, it can simulate to validate the effectiveness of security controls without causing any disruption. Moreover, they don't just like point out and leave you there, like, yeah, I have like gaps, but it also provides you ready to apply and actionable mitigation suggestions to enhance your detection and response capabilities. So like on the other hand, automated penetration testing simulates attacker behavior to identify exploitable vulnerabilities in real time. Like it's a highly sophisticated way to mimic adversarial goals, such as lateral movement or like domain admin compromise. This maximizes the potential impact of an attack like a real sophisticated hacker. So finally, because of its repeatable testing nature, it enables scalable and like consistent assessment of security controls. So as a result,
so you give me everything what I need. Honestly, again, yes, I love my traditional methods, but having Picus doing this for me all the time is giving me extra strength. It's like having someone full-time working for me, reporting to me, where I can either, as a CISO, work directly mitigation or work with cross teams to, let's say, the CTO or the CIO to bring these issues up and you know have the ways or find the impacts from the report instead of simulating it manually multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. So like if you wrap it up, like with adversarial exposure validation tools, we have an automated and like continuous way to perform assessment, determine whether the vulnerabilities can actually be exploited, evaluate the effectiveness of implemented like millions of dollars invested, like say like security controls. Most importantly, respond within the same day to the threat that is like arising. So my question to like Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, as a CISO, do you believe that adversarial exposure validation technologies are effective in testing defenses against both known and emerging threats like Infostealer, malware, and epidemic? Like, in other words, do you think BUS and automated penetration testing can actually help organizations to keep up with the evolving threat landscape?
Very simple answer. Yes. Why I mentioned this is all helping me to deal not just with Infostealer epidemic, but also with all the other issues that I cannot foresee. And you mentioned in the beginning, more than 40 million attacks that you analyzed. You put it in the report, only top 10, and the faults, you know, I have Windows here, I have a Mac here, you know, I have Android here, I have Windows, sorry, not Windows Phone anymore.
How many devices?
You know, I have too many devices. It's my job, but I am one person shop, right?
Yeah.
Then I have a team, but having a tool like Picus is giving all this for me automated. And then I can actually utilize my team to what Picus is not doing or what Picus is finding. Basically, I see Picus, yes, it's not free, honestly, it's not expensive. I see Picus as a headcount that I have, which continues to generate me report, or sometimes I go to Picus myself and you know, simulate the environment myself to see what I need. And then this report helps me to mitigate those actions. Saying that, I still love my manual penetration testing. With that, I don't mean having core in path or having Kali pressing the buttons. I mean having a proper penetration testing.
Yeah.
This is an extra add-on. Will be my answer.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Great answer. So
I talk all day, but we have limited time, right? Oh,
yeah.
demo. Let's show people
Yeah.
how
Like,
good it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can talk a lot, but a picture is
Okay.
worth 1,000 words. So let's do a quick demo. And I'm gonna do. Stop sharing. Yep. Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
we can see.
Yeah. Okay, great. So like for demonstrative purposes, I like by myself created a custom a threat template, and it consists of like over 300 Infostealer malware, and it is actually consists of over 1,500 variations of these malware. So when I look at it, like even I click this one, I see that if this variation is blocked or not. For instance, we see that this variation is not blocked, and this is blocked. Yeah. So even though like I have 9 actions and only like 5 of them like blocked, doesn't mean that like it's not successful. And Süleyman Hoca went over like a couple of Infostealer malware tab that did like they were the most notorious. So when we can take a look at here Luma, for instance, we can already see that there were like over 40 variants of this malware, and we see that even though like only one was achieved, the attack is like still considered as successful. So using BUS, like you can literally sit down and you don't have to go for the like threat landscape for yourself. You cannot keep up with the like over 300 Infostealer like day and like night. You can just by yourself analyze the TTPs. You can literally come here and run the simulation button, and you will literally see if your defenses are holding up against even the most notorious Infostealer malware.
And this is exactly
Sıla.
I cannot test 1,500 one by one, but this is doing it. Sorry, Süleyman, you were saying something?
Yeah, please go on, Erdal.
I cannot test that 300 stuff manually. Having a tool like Picus is just helping me to sleep better at night, because as CISO sometimes it keeps me worrying. Hackers need only one attack vector to be successful. Where I have to, as defender, protect everything. As I said, people have multiple devices, people have multiple identities, people have multiple credentials, and sometimes it's hard to protect it. Can I give a real life example? Last year on this time, someone tagged me at LinkedIn. One of our users, actually, his credential was stolen, but it was really not him, because it had my company name there that I work. The CEO called me straight away, like, Erdal, what's happening? When I looked at the issue, it was he set up his computer to his daughter, and he just logged in with his credentials only once. But when his daughter downloaded, she's 10 years old, she clicked and somehow she had a malware. Hacker was able to steal all the credentials, and one of them had my company's domain. And as a result, I was tagged at LinkedIn. Yes, I did mitigate it straight away. But what I'm trying to say is, even in a cybersecurity company, this can happen. And me having Picus, me having this tool simulated before, gave me a great incident response strategy, which I took into action straight away. And within a few minutes after I saw this post, I took that action to life. And half an hour later, everything was under control. Password was reset. Rules been updated. When the CEO called me, I shared him the report, and it was all good.
Yeah.
It is real 100%. I didn't mention this before as well. This is 100% true, by the way. Promise I'm not making it up. And if you know me, I usually don't make things up. Usually.
Yeah, it was a scary scary story.
Sıla, I want to ask you a question. Could you please open the Picus?
Yes.
Screen?
Here.
Yeah. For example, one of the Luma stealer has not been prevented. Yeah. So what should I do as an organization?
How with this type of malware?
Yeah. So what Picus says about it, about this prevention. Yeah, please
I mean,
click on it.
So does it give any recommendations? Is the question, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, so we see that it's kind of like PowerShell. So even though like executives are like blocked away, PowerShell one literally worked. So we can see the worked payload here, but Picus also, like, I don't know, I thought maybe I should be like stopping the simulation.
It's PowerShell.
Yeah, it's not.
So it's not prevented enough then, but you know, we give the the PS1 file and the command line.
Yes.
And for example, you can go the next one, the prevented one.
Prevented one, exe, yeah.
And you can.
The details are also like you can access through the virus total too, and description too for each variation.
CTI, right? Cyber threat intelligence comes with the product as well.
Yes.
Yes.
And please click on the prevention.
Yes.
And we can see that which signatures of products like antiviral IPS, WAF, or for endpoint attacks detection, etc. You can see the signatures, vendor-specific signatures. So you can apply these signatures to prevent these attacks.
Yeah.
And I can use that signature, I think, to scan my network to see if somehow this affected me. Anyway, because we are a global company, anywhere in the globe. This is great. I can put it in stock and see, or seem to see. This is really good.
Okay.
And also we give, for example, you simulated a MITRE attack technique, or you simulated an attack kill chain of a malware with 15 steps. We also give detection rules, ready-to-use detection rules for your SIEM or EDI. So we have integrations with more than 50 tools. So you just need to copy and paste the detection rule. And for some vendors, we can also automated deployment of rules. So with just one click, you can deploy the rule to your product if you want.
So, Sir, I remember your question to me. This is why I love Picus. Thank you, Dr. Ozkaya.
Yeah. So if I may, I would like to go with the second solutioners, automated penetration testing.
Oh, yeah, more.
Yeah, we have more simulation for information stealer type of malware. Okay, we see a like full map of a like successful automated penetration testing, and we see that like the simulation tried to do some like information like a credential access type of technique. And the first one, RDP credentials dumping from memory, it couldn't find anything. We can see that like credentials is not found, but it didn't like this didn't stop our like our solution that is like mimicking a sophisticated hacker, because it has to like find another way like a real sophisticated hacker. So it also tried LSA secrets dumping attack, but no LSA dump was found. But like in the upcoming attack technique, we see that security accounts manager database dumping did actually work. And in fact, as outcome of this attack technique, 6 SAM dump hashes were obtained, and using these hashes, we could access to like this many, like 6 machines that we can reach to in our like compromised active domain environments. And in another like attack technique, access process memory was also used, and like at the end of this technique, as an outcome, we see that 3 hashes were also obtained, and we could also like access to 3 another machines in the compromised environment, like leading to like with these 2 techniques, I could access to like even like we see that an attacker could access to those 9 machines if somehow he or she gained initial access to your environment. So this tool, like our automated penetration testing, literally shows you with another starting point, if there is an attacker like reaching through your system, it shows you the like how this person can take across to your domain admin accounts, which is like the crown jewel of the organization.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Only in 4 minutes, as I seen in the
Sorry?
timestamps. Only in 4 minutes, according to timestamps.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like in 4 minutes, 9 accounts were accessed. It's really
in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like VDR. How does VDR work? The attack comes, end user clicks, so it maps it as a simulation based on real life, and it warns me beforehand.
Yeah. So, Dr. Süleyman Özarslan, my question is to you. You were already familiar with our breach and attack simulation as a pioneer, as a creator. So, automated penetration testing is a new addition to the same platform. But what was Picus's motivation behind developing this new product?
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, Picus is the first vendor developing breach and attack simulation in the world. And breach and attack simulation, it remains a core strength of our platform. But now we have 5 products in the platform. So we have 4 more products other than breach and attack simulation. And one of them is automated penetration testing tool. We called attack path validation tool. So the motivation behind adding attack path validation, so adding automated penetration testing, was really about expanding on that foundation and giving security teams an additional lens into their security posture. So specifically from an attacker's point of view. Because while breach attack simulation tells you how well your security controls are working to block or detect or prevent specific techniques or malware, threat groups, advanced person threats, etc. But automated penetration testing tool, our APV product, goes a step further by emulating and finding full attack paths, as you show. So our attack path validation tool shows how adversaries could chain techniques together to move your environment and reach critical assets, as you showed. So this is not about replacing or fixing anything. It's about giving teams more context and depth. So with both breach attack simulation and automated pen testing on a single Picus platform, you can get tactical insights on control effectiveness and also strategic visibility into how an attacker could actually progress across your infrastructure. So it's especially helpful for understanding the real world risk. So prioritizing what matters based on how exploitable a weakness. It's not just based on a CVSS score or a theoretical risk. You need real world data. So, of course, I want to be really clear on this point. This is not about replacing manual penetration testing that Erdal loves. Or I'm also a former pen tester, so we know that human expertise is still incredibly important. And skilled pen testers, they can bring creativity and judgment that automation cannot replicate. But what automation does is free up those experts to focus on more advanced, high-value scenarios like targeted campaigns. So it's breach attack simulation and automated pen testing. They are force multiplier for your teams. So it's automated both pen testing and breach attack simulation. It's scalable, so teams don't need to wait for a traditional pen test to get these insights. They can run them safely and continuously and anytime.
In my opinion, it's additional grade on to whatever the companies have. So the traditional is there, but this is the change of phase of the traditional, adding it, making it modern.
Yeah, kind of helps your red team and penetration testing teamers to be more creative. Like you eliminate the mundane task, and they can like literally design the craziest, paths to leading to like, for instance, domain admin, etc.
I agree.
So in Picus Labs, our red teamers add attacks to our threat library. We have more than 30,000 actions in our threat library, and we have also blue team that creates detection rules and finds prevention signatures, etc. So we have more than 50 researchers in our Picus Labs, red team and blue team. So what it means that it's a force multiplier for your teams. So you also have 50% red team and blue team in your company using Picus.
Yes, great summary. So, like speaking of summary,
Right? He
What?
looks like no product.
I still couldn't understand it.
It looks like knowing the product.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, in conclusion, like we are indeed experiencing a Infostealer epidemic. Like our analysis shows a 3x increase in Infostealer malware streams. In fact, this year's top 10 MITRE attack techniques included 3 new techniques specifically related to Infostealer type of Infostealer malware. So this is a clear sign that our traditional like reactive approaches are no longer enough. And like unfortunately we have like run out of time for questions, but we can maybe like answer only one. So let me read the question. So when you look at this top 10 list overall and observe the rise in Infostealer related attack techniques as well as consider other cyber threats, what would your advice be for CISOs and security teams? What are the best next steps our audience can take to protect themselves in light of these findings?
I guess as a CISO, the question is for me. First of all, Süleyman said that in the beginning. Assume breach.
Yeah.
Assume that your credential has been stolen already. Try to have the zero trust mindset. Always be proactive when it comes to threat hunting and response. Yes, have your traditional incident response team. Yes, use software like Binalize, Air, or Drone, or Microsoft, whatever, but have also the next generation software like Picus. Actively hunt for Infostealer infections. Try to have a way to minimize the credential use. For that, of course, we have to increase user awareness. And we have to not just make it in a, like, if I explain security awareness to Dr. Ozkaya, the same way that I explain it to my child, then I'm doing something wrong. I have to find way to do it for each and every organization. For sales, this is a different way. For technically, it has to be in a different way. For for all these teams, we have to find different ways. Yes, we definitely need to update our security needs, but MFA, where possible, FIDO 2 or passkeys or Windows Hello at Mac, try to utilize the tools. Try to have your incident response and remediation plan, as I mentioned earlier. Try to have a great CTI, cyber threat intelligence tool. Be part of the community like Global CISO Forum. Practice what you find. Don't just wait until the incident happens. It's like, every company has some fire practices. The siren goes on. A fire guard puts his or her head on. We go to the meeting point. We follow the procedures, right? Do the same thing when it comes to cybersecurity. Have some tabletop exercises. And as I mentioned, try to have continuous improvement, because hackers gonna always find a way to steal our passwords. We mentioned during the session, we are lazy. I am not a password generator. I do rely on some tools, but I have MFA even my Facebook.
Yeah.
I try to differentiate my important password to not important password. What is important password? My login as password is important, where my Facebook password is less important. I can talk all day, but I think we're running out of time. So if there is more questions, I'm more than happy to take it offline via emails. You can share it with me. But you know, there is a huge list that we can go through. For that, I recommend to read the Red Report, to go to my blog, to be part of the community, and to enjoy what you do.
Yeah. Notes taken. Thank you so much. Really good comment. Thank you. Dr. Süleyman Özarsan, is there anything would you like to add?
First of all, I want to thank you, Sıla, for your moderation, and of course, a big thank you to our guest, Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, for being here and sharing his insights. And of course, thanks to all of you attendees for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah. I also really want to thank you to Dr. Erdal Ozkaya for being here. It was a really crazy event for me. I learned a lot. I took some notes and I learned some analogies that I'm going to use in my blogs. So it was really good and beneficial for me. Thank you for being here, and thank you for Dr. Süleyman Özarsan having this opportunity to me speak with you with Dr. Ozkaya here in this webinar.
I guess I'm last.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for this wonderful event. Thank you for watching. Sıla, welcome aboard. I think this was one of your first. You told me this before, and I think you did a great job. Süleyman, I know you for so many years, and it's always a pleasure to be with you in the same panel, in the same webinar, in the same, as I mentioned earlier, I know you for so many years, and I'm always a call away. So thank you, Picus. Thank you, everybody. Keep in touch.
Keep in touch.
Bye.